Actor and director Timothy Busfield will not remain behind bars as he awaits trial on serious child sex crime allegations, following a ruling by a New Mexico judge that allows his release under strict pretrial conditions. The decision comes after prosecutors sought to keep Busfield jailed, arguing he posed a danger to the community, while the defense maintained that the evidence did not justify detention before trial. Busfield, 68, is best known for his work in television and film, including The West Wing, 30-something, and Field of Dreams. His arrest earlier this month sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and prompted intense public scrutiny, particularly due to the nature of the allegations and his long-standing career in Hollywood. The court's ruling. During a pretrial detention hearing, the judge determined that prosecutors had not met the legal burden required to hold Busfield in custody ahead of trial. Under New Mexico law, pretrial detention is reserved for cases where the state can demonstrate that no set of conditions would reasonably protect the public or ensure the defendant's appearance in court. In Busfield's case, the judge concluded that while the charges are undeniably serious, conditions could be imposed that would address safety concerns while still respecting the presumption of innocence. As a result, Busfield was ordered released from custody pending further proceedings. Strict conditions of release. Although Busfield will not be jailed, his freedom is tightly restricted. As part of his release, the court imposed several conditions designed to limit risk and monitor his behavior. These conditions include: no contact with minors unless specifically approved by the court, no contact with the alleged victims or their families, regular check-ins with pretrial services, a prohibition on possessing firearms or weapons, restrictions on alcohol and drug use, compliance with all court appearances and travel requirements. Any violation of these conditions could result in Busfield being returned to custody. Details of the allegations. Busfield faces multiple felony charges, including criminal sexual contact of a minor and child abuse. The allegations stem from claims that he inappropriately touched two young actors while working in a position of authority on a television production. Prosecutors allege that the incidents occurred over a period of time and involved children under the age of 13. Investigators say the accusations came to light after one of the alleged victims disclosed troubling experiences during therapy sessions. Law enforcement was subsequently notified, leading to a formal investigation and, eventually, the filing of criminal charges. Busfield has strongly denied all allegations against him. Through his legal team, he has maintained that the claims are false and that he intends to vigorously defend himself in court. Defense arguments. At the detention hearing, Busfield's attorneys emphasized his lack of prior criminal history, long-standing career, and strong community ties. They argued that he voluntarily surrendered to authorities, has cooperated with the legal process, and poses no flight risk. The defense also questioned the credibility and timing of the allegations, suggesting that there are inconsistencies that should be examined during a full trial rather than used to justify pretrial incarceration. According to his lawyers, the case should proceed through the normal judicial process without prematurely punishing the defendant. Prosecution's position. Prosecutors, however, argued that the severity of the charges alone warranted Busfield's detention. They contended that the alleged conduct demonstrated a pattern of behavior and that his prior access to children through his work made him a potential danger if released. Despite these arguments, the judge ruled that the prosecution had not provided sufficient evidence to show that detention was the only reasonable option. Family support and emotional courtroom scenes. Busfield's wife, actress Melissa Gilbert, was present in court and visibly emotional as the judge announced the ruling. She has publicly stood by her husband, expressing confidence in his innocence and the legal process. Support letters from friends and colleagues were also submitted to the court as part of the defense's argument for release. What happens next? The case is far from over. A preliminary hearing is scheduled later this month, during which a judge will determine whether enough evidence exists for the case to move forward to trial. If prosecutors meet that threshold, Busfield could face months, or even years, of legal proceedings. If convicted, the charges carry the potential for significant prison time under New Mexico law. Sentencing would depend on multiple factors, including the number of counts and the ages of the alleged victims. Industry and public reaction. The allegations and subsequent arrest have already impacted Busfield's professional life. Projects involving the actor have reportedly been paused or re-evaluated, and the case has sparked broader conversations about child safety, power dynamics, and accountability within the entertainment industry. At the same time, the ruling underscores a fundamental principle of the justice system: defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty. The court's decision does not reflect a judgment on Busfield's guilt or innocence, but rather a determination about the legal standards for pretrial detention. A case under close watch. As the legal process unfolds, the case against Timothy Busfield is expected to remain under intense public and media scrutiny. The upcoming hearings will be critical in shaping the trajectory of the prosecution and defense, and they will determine whether the case ultimately proceeds to trial. For now, Busfield will await the next phase of the legal process outside of jail, but under close supervision, as the court prepares to weigh the evidence that could define the future of his life and career.